Star Trek's First Contact Day takes on a heroic new meaning in 2025. Star Trek's First Contact Day has always held a special place within the franchise's mythos. April 5th, 2063 marks the iconic moment when humanity takes its first step toward a united, hopeful future. When Zefram Cochrane's warp drive test attracts the attention of the Vulcans, who descend to Earth, extend a hand, and help launch centuries of peaceful interstellar cooperation. Traditionally, First Contact Day is a celebration of optimism, progress, scientific breakthroughs, and the belief that humanity can overcome its flaws and strive toward a better tomorrow. But in 2025, that celebration has taken on a heroic new meaning, one shaped not just by the in-universe lore, but by seismic shifts in the real world of Star Trek storytelling. This year's First Contact Day marks a turning point for the franchise, for the fandom, and ultimately for the legacy of Gene Roddenberry's vision. And 2025 has made the holiday feel more inspiring and more heroic than ever before. A year of renewal for Star Trek. Over the decades, First Contact Day has emerged as an annual opportunity for Paramount to drop teasers, trailers, announcements, and surprises. But 2025 stands out as the year that Star Trek officially began steering into a new era. After years of expansion, reboots, streaming pivots, and shifting fan reactions, this year's First Contact Day arrived with an energy that felt undeniably heroic. Star Trek has endured several reality-defining transitions in the past few years, shows ending, creative teams shifting, budgets tightening, and storytelling approaches evolving. But 2025 is the year the franchise proved it's not just surviving, it's rising to the challenge. Paramount used First Contact Day to send a message. Star Trek's future is not uncertain. It's bold, ambitious, and built on the strength of its heroes. And not just the heroes in the shows. This year, the focus was on the people shaping the stories. A celebration centered on legacy characters. One of the biggest reasons First Contact Day 2025 feels so heroic is how the franchise has embraced its legacy characters. Fans who grew up with the various eras of Trek, TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise, have seen those heroes re-emerge in powerful and meaningful ways across the current crop of series. In 2025, First Contact Day delivered trailers, previews, and cast panels showcasing how these returning characters are being treated with respect and narrative importance. Instead of relying on nostalgia purely for emotional shortcuts, the franchise has begun interweaving legacy heroes into new arcs that test them, evolve them, and place them at the center of dramatic storytelling. For example, Captain Seven of Nine's leadership role in Star Trek. Legacy of production still in limbo, but repeatedly teased through interviews and concept hints, has reshaped the way many fans think about heroism within the Trek universe. Seven's complicated journey, from Borg drone to Voyager's defiant outsider to hardened Fenris Ranger to Starfleet's newest captain, has become the franchise's most compelling long-form hero arc in years. First Contact Day 2025 amplified this by showcasing new glimpses into her evolution, reminding fans that the franchise's best stories are often about flawed, resilient individuals who rise to the occasion. This symbolic evolution of Seven echoes the deeper meaning of First Contact Day itself, confronting fear, overcoming trauma, and stepping into a better version of oneself. New heroes step forward. First Contact Day 2025 also introduced fans to a new generation of heroes, both on-screen and behind the scenes. Starfleet Academy, set to debut later this year, has become the centerpiece of this new wave of optimism-driven storytelling. The series promises to reintroduce younger audiences to the idealism that defines Star Trek, wrapped in the lens of character-driven drama. The trailer released on First Contact Day struck a chord because it framed heroism as something that requires vulnerability. Students aren't perfect, they're struggling, learning, failing, questioning their futures. But they're choosing to try. That choice is heroic. In the teaser, a standout moment shows a young cadet nervously reciting the Starfleet Oath while a holographic starfield swirls around them. The symbolism is impossible to miss. Even in a vast, unforgiving galaxy, the individuals brave enough to take the oath are the ones who keep the Federation alive. In a franchise long dominated by seasoned captains and battle-tested officers, watching a new generation of cadets stepping into the spotlight and stepping up has injected the fandom with the same hopeful energy that defines First Contact Day. Real-world heroes behind the scenes. The heroic meaning of First Contact Day 2025 isn't just fictional, it's real. The writers, directors, and actors who worked tirelessly to bring new Trek stories to life throughout the industry's recent upheavals have emerged as quiet heroes. After the industry-wide strikes and production setbacks that rocked Hollywood in 2023 and 2024, the creative teams behind Star Trek had to overcome obstacles more daunting than Klingons or Borg cubes. They had to navigate financial restructuring, reorganize production cycles, and a constantly shifting streaming landscape. On First Contact Day 2025, fans had the chance to hear directly from many of these creators through livestream panels and commentary events. They spoke openly about challenges, tight budgets, new filming techniques, reimagined storytelling methods, and about how their passion for Trek kept them pushing forward. This transparency added a layer of real-world heroism to the celebration. The people making these stories aren't just following orders from Starfleet Command. They're trying to protect the heart of Star Trek in an industry that often prioritizes algorithms over ideals. And that resonates deeply with fans, especially in a world that feels increasingly fractured. A reimagining of hope in 2025. At its core, First Contact Day represents hope for humanity. In 2025, that hope feels more urgent and more inspiring. The world has endured uncertainty, conflict, division, and profound challenges. Yet the Star Trek community continues to unite across generations, countries, and fandom divides around a shared belief that a better future is possible. That belief has never been more essential. This year's First Contact Day leaned heavily into that message. The marketing, trailers, social media campaigns, and cast interviews centered on the idea that hope is not naive, it's heroic. The key phrase repeated throughout the day was "choose the future." It appeared in posters, teaser footage, and commentary segments. The phrase perfectly encapsulated the spirit of 2025's celebration. The future isn't guaranteed, but choosing to strive for it, despite doubt, fear, or adversity, is an act of heroism. And in the world of Star Trek, heroism has always meant choosing cooperation over conflict, logic over violence, empathy over ego. A surprise tribute that resonated across the fandom. One of the most touching moments of First Contact Day 2025 was a surprise video tribute honoring Trek actors across all eras who passed away over the last decade. The montage included archival interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and audio clips that highlighted their contributions to the franchise. It wasn't just a memorial, it was a reminder of the legacy they built. Seeing these actors celebrated not through sorrow, but through gratitude was profoundly moving. It emphasized the idea that heroism doesn't require superpowers or starships,